regular seller trying to sell your house, you were competing against dozens, tens, hundreds of other REOs, bank-owned property that were in your marketplace, and it kills your value because these banks are motivated. They'll cut prices. They don't care. So hope that's clear. People that have these 2.5%, 3%, 4% interest rates, people are going to be really reluctant to sell. And every marketplace really just depends on supply and demand. That's what a market is. It's, how much supply do you have in relation to demand? You always want to have more demand than supply in order to keep the market healthy or keep it moving forward. And, sellers right now are going to look and say, hey, rates are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9% in the next few years, potentially, and say, why would I sell at 2.5% when I have a 2.5% mortgage and take a 7 or 8 or 9? He thinks that psychology is going to really come into play. Another note on that is he believes people are going to have the opportunity. In the 1980s, there were assumable mortgages, and he thinks that banks are going to have to get very creative in order to keep inventory moving forward, that there's a high likelihood that we'll be able to advertise for sale a home, 123 Pine Street, has a 3% mortgage. You can call, US Bank, apply to assume that loan, pay a 1% fee, whatever it is, so the lender makes a little bit of money, and pass that on to the actual new buyer. And that's something that he thinks will come into play in the next year, 2, 3, 4 years as this market starts to play out, because there's going to continue to be limited inventory, because homeowners are not going to want to trade their 2.5%, 3% mortgage rate for a higher rate, pay more property taxes, whatever, everything else that goes along with it. So there's safeguards in place. Additionally, you have banks that really wised up. When they foreclosed on a lot of people in 2008, the banks realized that they could slowly release the inventory in the marketplace and not flood it to reduce all the comparable sales and create excess supply. And additionally, they worked out a lot of loan modifications. So the whole foreclosure thing, I don't think we can expect to have any effect really on the market. We're going to have a lot of sellers that are not going to be wanting to sell. Unfortunately for us, he believes that sales are going to go down quite a bit. The amount of homes that are selling in our market are going to be probably 50% of what we were doing before. So I think more than ever, we need to become the dominant leaders in our marketplace to get more market share, because the level of units, the amount of units that are being sold, homes that are being sold, is going to go way down. So that's it. It's hard to say exactly how rates are going to be. A lot of that is going to depend on the federal, government. They injected $8 trillion into the economy, and we're fighting inflation right now. So whether or not they want to reverse course when we run into a recession, probably in the next 12 months, remains to be seen. But even if we do, and rates go from 5 back down to a 3 level, don't expect a euphoric buyer to come back and the market to be as easy as it was before. If rates start to trickle up into 7, 8, 9, 10%, which is a very real possibility and probably the most likely scenario, you're going to see buyers coming in with more equity down. They're going to be putting 30, 40% down to take a 9% rate in order to, make sense of it. But I don't think we're going to see a lot of price damage anywhere in the next year, 2 or 3 years.